Hey everybody, it's been a while since I recorded a video, but I've moved to a different house, different city, and a lot has happened in my life since the last time I made a video. Um, so didn't really have, it wasn't really in the front of my mind, but uh, from because of unpacking and packing and everything, all of my stuff, I really was inspired to make a video about my tarot card collection, my modest tarot card collection. Um, so we're gonna do that. We'll start with my Oracle slash the non-Rider Waite decks, and go from there. Again, it's a modest collection. It's kind of small. It's small. It's not kind of small. It is small. I'm very picky when it comes to art and being able to connect with the deck. I do have one deck actually that I will show you that I don't exactly regret buying, but it's not. I don't connect with the cards the way I would like to. Sorry, there's a cat laying on my card, so thank you. Anyway, but I kept it. Obviously, it's like a reminder, kind of, to be a little bit picky when it comes to picking decks. But yeah, I'm gonna show you 4 cards, I believe, from each deck, and talk a little bit about the structure and the art and everything like that. So let's get started. Okay, so the first deck we're gonna talk about is the Heart of the Fairy Oracle. And I'm sorry for that glare there, but yeah. So, first of all, this is just the book that comes with it, and it's awesome. First of, it's hardcover, it's beautiful. I don't even know. It's got like aged look to the paper. It's super nice. The wording is very beautiful. Just reading it is great. I don't even know. Cool artwork on the back. Everything about it is awesome. Obviously, it's an oracle deck, so I have a few notes written down here, so I'm going to be looking at that. But it's split into 7 different groups of cards. So we have fairy queens, which are like it says in the book, like 9 different aspects of the feminine. So they're kind of like big picture feminine, if you get what I mean by that. Then we go to the queen consorts. So it's not just the 9 aspects of masculine, it's more like the relationship between masculine and feminine energies. Then we have archetypes. We have spirits, which are described in the book as like mischievous, but positive, joyful spirits. Like something I guess you think of when you think of like a little fairy, right? Then we have the ladies, which is kind of an offshoot of the queens, but it's more like, while the queens are like big picture, like ethereal, goddess like image, the ladies are more personal. So it's more directly related to how your inner self. Um, and then we have the tricksters, who they're tricksters. That's what they do. They either are meant to represent a tricky situation and helping you out of a tricky situation, or they impart wisdom, but in a tricksy kind of way. So again, kind of what you think of when you think of a stereotypical fairy, where there's you get something out of it, but maybe not the way that you wanted it to. It's not easy. They don't just give you the info. And then there's a journey cards, which is kind of like the journey in the Rider Waite, except it obviously relates to fairies. I know, that's crazy, right? Alright, so then we're gonna look at 4 cards that I picked out. These aren't necessarily my favorite out of the deck. I just think they really show there's just really beautiful art on these cards. Some of the cards are way more simplistic than the ones I'm going to show you, which is not bad. It's all really beautiful. I just am partial to the complex cards. So this is the most simplistic one, probably, out of the four I picked. It's called The Blessing. Um, do you see how beautiful that is? It's so, first of all, the big thing in this deck is that the artist put in a lot of like hidden faces, and it's really cool. Like at first, obviously you look at this card and you see the beautiful ethereal fairy, but she's actually sitting on another creature there. There's sort of like in the background you can kind of see sort of face shapes. But I mean, obviously it's freaking beautiful. So beautiful. Next one I have here is the Elven Knight. He's one of the consorts. He is so cool. Look at how ethereal he is in his he's like this ethereal being walking through this greenery, and obviously again there's lots and lots of hidden fairies and faces. Beautiful, beautiful card. Then we have the Captive Man. Apparently I'm partial to the boys. I don't know, but I just find this card to be so amazing. I don't know, the combination of like natural elements and ethereal elements is obviously so fairy, but it's so beautiful. Really, really, really amazing. And then I have a queen here, the Queen of Passage. This one is legitimately one of my favorite cards because look at that. It's so cool. I don't even know. Like the owl and the raven, and just, it's so freaking beautiful. That's all you can say. I really just enjoy this deck. The art is so, I can't say it enough how amazing it is. The hidden face thing is so cool. You'll be looking at a card and you'll thinking, you're really getting the meaning out of it, and you'll see something in the background. It's like, it almost is startling, when you find a face in the card that you hadn't seen before. I think that's awesome. But let's move on to the next one. Okay, so this deck I bought just randomly. I was at Half Price Books and I saw this and it looks so strange and unlike any cards I've ever had, so I had to get it. It's so interesting. Even though I've been into tarot cards for a long time, I forget how old I am sometimes. I don't know a lot about the history of like divination cards. But this deck is based on, obviously, first of all, the book is awesome. Okay, it's in color. It's great. It's beautiful. But this is based on a woman named Madame Lenormand. Terrible at pronouncing French. I'm French and I'm terrible. I'm so sorry. But I guess she had her own system that this is based on. Well, it's her system, but they relate it to fairy tales. I don't even think I said the name. I'm so sorry. Fairy tale fortune cards. So they take her system and they expand it to relate to fairy tales. So every card has, when they have their descriptor page, they have this, and then they have a fairy tale that they associate with every single card. It is so neat. So you don't just get the meaning of the card. It's like you can get your own meaning out of the story too. So I think that's so cool. I don't know. It's very unique compared to every other deck I have. So I like it a lot. Also the art is very different than, you'll see, it's totally different than everything else I own. It's very simplistic and symbolic. It's cool. I like it. One moment. Oh yeah, and the book gives you like combinations, because it's probably because it's so different than in other systems. They actually tell you, like, if you get two different cards like them combined, what they mean together in the book, which is cool. I think that's really neat. But yeah, so some of these cards, so they have what they are. Sorry, they're very glossy, which I don't necessarily usually like either, but oh, they're so weird, so I like it. So it has the name of the card, the flowers, and then it actually has a little description on the card, which is so cool. And it's not intrusive. Like, it doesn't take away from the card at all. It just it fits. I don't know. They're great. So that's obviously the flowers. And then I have here the path, which is, I think, really cool. It's literal, but also just so simplistic and strange. I just love how very stylized they are. And then we have the snake, which is really cool, obviously. And then here is the cross. I picked that card up because I almost picked the coffin too. It's one of the cards, but I thought that was too much, so I just picked the cross. But really cool. First of all, I mean, just look at it. That's so cool. And then, like, we get the raven there. I just love this deck. Very interesting. Very different than I haven't read with it much, to be honest. But because the system is different than what I'm used to, but I love its uniqueness, and I mean, I bought it for a reason. Oh, and before we go on to the next deck, I do have to say the box is so cool. The cards don't really fit in very well, but like it's got these little slidey bits. I love it, like how it sits like this, and you slide off this part. That's cool. You can actually store it in the box, unlike, you know, the Heart of the Fairy, which just comes in a soft box. It is what it is, but that box is really cool. Alright, next one we're going to talk about is the archetype cards. You'll find I almost get all of my decks from half-price books. I don't mind using pre-used cards. And oftentimes, like with the Fairy Tale Fortune cards, that I also got a half price, but it was unused. I don't really know how half price works, but they have a lot of bulk items that have never been used before, so it's not even really that big a deal. It comes with a book. It's like a typical little white book, but it's, you know, harder, like cardstock cover. As you can probably guess, it's a deck where the cards are the archetypes. I know, it's crazy. I'm a really, really big fan of Carl Jung, so I had to get these. I saw them and I flipped out in store and I bought them. Didn't care. It was only $10 too. I mean, how can you not get that, right? Each card is so they're so cool. Okay. So it's a very like thick kind of cardboardy cardstock. I don't know how to describe it. It's sort of weird, the texture, like how it feels. I don't like that part, but I don't imagine this is more of a deck where you're gonna pull out like one card at a time. You're not really shuffling as in how I use them, at least. I don't shuffle them like I do with a normal tarot deck, so I'm not. It's okay. The shape is strange, but it works. But the cards themselves are so cool. First of all, it's really interesting art. I really like the simplisticness of it and the fact that there's no borders. Love that. But yeah, so it has the name of the archetype. Obviously, this one's the mentor. And then we have the light attributes and the shadow attributes, which is awesome. It's, first of all, right on the card. There's the Fool for you. But also just, it's so easy to pick up. You don't need to know the archetypes by memory. First of all, there's too friggin' many. This is 80 cards in it. You're not, I mean, who memorizes that? But I love it. I love that it just says it right on there. Again, not intrusive. Look at that. It's the orphan just on his planet by himself. Like, how, you know, obviously it's, was it Le Petit Prince? The Petit, that's something, again, French escapes me. And here's a detective. I love this one. Look at her looking through the little hole in the book. That's so cool. I love it. She's great. Yeah. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, so the next one we're gonna get into right away now. We're gonna talk about this deck. This is the one. This is the one I'm talking about. What I semi-regret. I regret is a strong word, but semi-regret buying it. So it's just called the Pagan Tarot. Obviously, again, bought it at half price. The symbolism is really weird. It just comes to, for me, at least personally, it comes with a typical little white book thing. Um, so one thing this deck does for some reason is that it changes the name of the suits. So like here you have the Elemental of Wands, and I don't know why they did that. I guess it's in the creator's mind more pagany. I don't know. I mean, it was fine. It's not like a bad thing. It's just I guess not what I'm used to, right? Um okay, yeah, literally I just pulled out the book and it says they changed it to reflect the energy inherent in the pagan and Wiccan spiritual system. So, okay. But yeah, so you have the elemental, the novice, the initiate, and the elder. I mean, that's cool. I just am not used to it, so I honestly get confused sometimes when I read with this deck. Oops. So yeah, here we have an elemental, elemental of wands, awesome, right? This is cool. I like this. This deck is meant to be like a modern interpretation of like a pagan or Wiccan specifically, I think. But, you know, then they have images like this though. And every elemental I'm pretty sure is very fantasy like. Okay? This is cool. This is what I'm like usually. Fine, supportive. This is also cool. Look at that, right? Oh, what is this? The Hermit. Okay, I should have guessed. It's supposed to be like a modern interpretation, so you have a modern woman in a modern set. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. With her books and everything. It's cool. Um, this is cool. This limit. Here's my limit. And we start getting into weird stuff. So you have the Four of Pentacles, and she's at a grocery store. I mean, that's cool. I don't know. I mean, the art is nice looking. It's just strange to me. And then we move on to something like the Nine of Wands, where you have this strange mix of like people in cloaks doing spell work on the car, I guess, but very modern, a car, tow truck, very modern, I mean, yes, modern paganism still has people that wear cloaks, but it's just, they're weird. The chariot is also a station wagon. I don't know. I guess I'm a girl who loves fantasy and stuff too much, and that's my downfall. It's my fault. Okay, now we're going to talk about a deck that probably a lot of people have already seen a million times, but I don't care. Steampunk Tarot. Let's talk about this. We're not even at my favorite yet, though. First of all, even the back, like, this is amazing. This book is so good. Great job, whoever wrote this book. It's on there, probably. Barbara Moore. This is awesome. This is so cool. She has information about steampunk, and then she has information more than just a novelty deck. Like, she is so cool for doing this. I love it. She goes into tarot basics, so like people who pick this up just because they like steampunk, they can actually learn about tarot, and it's so cool. This is such a good book. I don't even have words. And the art is amazing. Let's talk about that. Ali Fell, you're amazing. This is amazing. Like, okay, so obviously here, okay, we'll have the Three of Swords. So we have images like this, which, okay, I just looked at the back, so I gotta look at the back. How beautiful is that? Combining all of the suits are all in there, and it's so beautiful. But first you have these very like mechanical steampunky images with know people or anything, and but it's so amazing. And you have a lot of, certain cards that look like this. And then we have cards with, oh, here's another example I pulled out. The Ace of Pentacles, which is beautiful. I don't know if the camera can pick up the glory that is this card, but it is beautiful. Oh my god. And then we do have cards with people on them. So the Nine of Cups here. Look at her. She is beautiful. She's so happy. I love the card. I'm sorry, I'm running out of space, so I gotta hurry up a little bit. Then we have the High Priestess. Look at her. Isn't she beautiful? She's so cool. She's so mischievous. She's also, laying out cards herself with the awesome, beautiful. Pause the video and look at that beautiful art because it's amazing. I haven't really read with it much because I don't want to ruin them. They're just so beautiful. You know what? I'll show you another one because it's so cool. Look at the Empress. Look at her. Oh, look at that right there. Like the symbol right there. Oh, God. That's so cool. I didn't even notice that till just now. These are so cool. I don't even have words. Just beautiful. Beautiful artwork. Next we're going to look at my favorite deck finally. It honestly seems anticlimactic after that because the art is so glorious in that deck. My favorite one, the Robin Wood Tarot. I'm spoiling my favorite card. It's right on the cover. I love the imagery. Talk about combining like modern paganism and stuff with Rider-Waite and everything. This deck is beautiful, and it's the most connection I've ever felt with a deck. It's a great size. It's not too big, not too small, where the art isn't like as visible as I want it to be. The Magician, which is on the box, is awesome. Look at that. Oh man, with his antlers and everything, he's so beautiful. Everything about it makes me so happy. The Four of Wands here, it's all just the art. It's so beautiful. Like, there's no, as much as I like the non-intrusive words in the other ones, this has no words practically, and it's so beautiful. Look at the Knight of Cups. Look at him coming out of the water, and look at just the tail on the horse and everything. How cool is he? His helmet, really great. And then we have the Ace of Wands there with the sunflowers. It's so cool. So beautiful. I guess I like this deck because it has a lot of traditional symbols. Like, like when you look at certain cards, like the Magician. You could tell it's a magician, But at the same time, it's, with his own spin on it, I guess. I love them. I love that deck. It's beautiful. I don't have words. But yeah, so that's pretty much everybody. That's it. It's probably best I don't have more because it took me so long to go through them. But I guess I'll probably make more in the future. More videos about tarot because I love tarot. So it's gonna come up again. I guess if by some magic somebody watches this, let me know what you think. Let me know if there's another deck out there that reminds you of any of these that you think I should get, because I want some recommendations. So, I'm all about the beautiful, ethereal, amazing fantasy art, so let me know. Have a great day, guys. I'll see you later.